Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to class. Just doing a little change of clothing. I'll be right with you. It's one of those days, y'all. It's one of those days. Good afternoon. Sorry, I was doing some work before I start class. This is the life of a creative person. Damn, I look scruffy. I need a shave. How y'all doing? Good afternoon. We're going to continue with our class today. Hey, Gandhi. Should mind the rest of classmates. Got my class. All right. How you doing, Gandhi? Good to see you. Are we supposed to stick at your pen, All messages are visible. Okay, good. We're going to continue on from Tuesday where we left off. We left off on the 6th house. And now we're on to the 7th when we're talking about keywords. And you guys can have some assignment for the weekend. I'm glad to say that everybody in this class has this book now. The majority of you have this book now. Okay? It is cool. Y'all gonna have a whole shitload of assignments to do. Just having you to know you're gonna have a whole shitload of work to do on this weekend. Still waiting for my inbox to get filled with the assignments I already gave you. It seems as if few of you are not doing your assignments. Sorry, make sure you can see my full head. We left off at the 7th house. The 7th house, in astrology and its keywords, or we should say the planet Venus in traditional astrology and in modern astrology. Which means the modern astrologers, the modern astrologers use Juno, the asteroid. Oh, that's on the screen. They use the asteroid Juno to represent the sign Libra or, the 7th house. Naturally, as if you have Libra sitting on your 7th house. So let me give you some keywords that we can use for Juno. Well, let me explain to you this book. It's another book that I like using, especially it's called The Asteroid Goddess. And this is the book that deals with asteroids, especially the goddess asteroids like Vesta, Pallas Athena, Juno, and those asteroids are known as the god or the goddess asteroids, and also Ceres. But we're going to look at Venus as well, because we already gave Venus when it came to Taurus. Happy Thursday, MB. And you guys are going to see how and why Juno can be seen as the ruler of the sign Libra. I'm going to read some inserts from this book for you guys. Juno, Greek hero, principle of relatedness. Character, goddess of marriage, queen of the heavens, triple moon goddess. Associated rulership, Libra, and to some extent, Scorpio, they say. The asteroid of Juno, as the point on the mandala, where the feminine principle unifies with the masculine, Juno symbolizes the principle of relatedness through the vehicles of committed partnerships. She strives to realize a perfect and balanced union with another. Juno, therefore, exhibits strong rulership associations with Libra, a sign of marriage and consummation. The semi-sextile between Libra and Scorpio links the two signs, but also implies friction in attempting to join to utilize their different resources. Likewise, Juno's major frustration came in her inability to actualize the full potential inherent in her marriage to Jupiter. Juno was married to Jupiter, according to Greek mythology. Juno as a signifactor of relationships. In the horoscope, Juno represents the emotional and psychological need to motivate us to seek marital union. So now you see why I use, you guys will see why I use Juno as a representation of Libra as opposed to just Venus. The other feminine functions of fertility, sexuality, childbearing, and rearing are far less important to Juno than her need to merge with another. Saying the other feminine functions of fertility, sexuality, childbearing, and rearing are far less important to Juno than her need to merge with another. Whenever you see a person has a strong Juno in their chart, this is a person who don't really care about the children. They don't care about sex itself, childbearing. They may care about it a little bit. But the important thing is when they merge with somebody, as if them and those two are one. With prominent Junos in the chart, they're drawn to the path of committed relationships. Invariably, they spend their lifetimes experiencing the seventh house lessons of learning to develop cooperation, compromise, understanding, and harmony with other people. Juno generally represents the mate, or those qualities we project onto the mate. But depending on other factors, this asteroid can describe any close one-to-one relationships, such as teacher-disciple, therapist-client, business partner, or close friends. In addition, when Juno refers to a significant other, meaning lover, it is not necessary that the couple be legally married, as was the case in the myth. In today's world of changing social norms, any living together union, heterosexual or homosexual, qualifies as a Juno relationship. There's some other thing, and like I said, it goes into a lot. The fears of Juno, which is the fear of abandonment. One of the strongest fears, it's powerful. One of the strongest fears that Juno individuals face is the fear of abandonment. Just as Juno's childhood was spent inside her father's Kronos was her father, stomach, women in patriarchal culture have been conditioned to seek essential support and protection from men. Thus, many women believe that if their husband left them, they would not know how to provide for themselves. In a similar fashion, men who are conditioned to receive nurturance exclusively from their mother or wives fear the emotional deprivation that would arise from the departure of their spouses. Living with this insecurity, they often react to becoming overall possessive to protect themselves from losing their sustenance. Now, I want you to listen to the keywords, because keywords are in these sentences. Thus, both men and women, Juno in astrological signifactor for the fear of losing their significant other and the grasping, possessive attitude that arises from this insecurity. There are the fears: fear of betrayal, fear of sexuality. And those are the three fears, basically. The power they bring is the giving away of power, subtle manipulation. Children as power. So let me give you the key words. Commitment. That's one of them. Um, believe it or not, people who have significant Juno see sex as magic. Sex act contains the necessary forces to create life. Hence, at the moment of sexual union, you can direct this creative energy into visual imagery that will later manifest as physical form in the real world. This is the true meaning of magic, bringing invisible ideas into visible manifestation. Juno psychological themes. I'll give you the words. Relationship as self-expression, freedom and equality, intimacy and sharing, mutual trust and understanding, creating new forms of relationship. Themes of transformation. Let's go on our road. Pathology in relationship, infidelity, jealousy, subjugation, betrayal, emotional attachment and possessiveness, emotional and sexual power games, projection and reflection, giving away of power, attempt to regain power in identification through partner or children, woman as malcontent, and subtle manipulation. Those are the keywords that are actually, well, those are some keywords. They also have more keywords for Juno, which also would be the modern ruler of Libra. Some of the keywords are marriage, business partnership, friendship, partner, mate, equality, and freedom, balance of power, compatibility, marriage and relationship counseling. It also rules over chastity and feminine virtue, courting or courtship, betrothal. When last you heard that word, betrothal, engagement, marriage, separation, divorce, legal marriage, free mate union, weddings and anniversaries, legitimate and illegitimate children, the second child. It enhances the feminine qualities of a female by adornments, meaning jewelry, makeup. This is why Libra has this thing of they need to look a certain way, or their moon in Libra or Venus in Libra or Mars. Whenever they have this placement, they like to dress up, makeup, scents, glamour, decor, and adornment. These are other keywords to deal with when it comes to the seventh house. Their creative talent are performing arts, projection of image. Projection of image, I guess, means mimicking. Mask, dance, drama, and being vocal. Also meaning that they could possibly sing whenever Juno is very prominent. Okay. Any questions about Juno? If you guys were listening, Arul, we're still finishing the keywords of the signs and planets that rule the signs. All right. So that's what we're looking at, and that's what we're talking about. We're on the seventh house. Also, we want to use Libra, the sign of Libra. We're focusing on that and looking at charts. As a matter of fact, thank you very much for reminding me. Look at some of you guys' charts and see, and let's relate. Let's do some relatable. Let's do a relatable class today. When I say relatable, meaning using you guys as examples. If you guys have a problem with that, let me know, and I will refrain from that. Any problems with that? Let me see. I ain't nobody talking. All right, so who wants to go first? Let's take a look at your charts. We're doing a relatable class. I don't always do it, but I do it majority of the times. Okay. All right. So that's all right. So now we have first on the top is Arul, then it's Shekinah, then it's Felicia. Okay. Whoever else is there, I think you need to say. So Arul, since we're here, we're gonna look at your chart. And you're the first to respond. Let's take a look at the rule of your 7th house. Okay. Ambi, you also commented as well. All right. The ruler of your 7th house is the sun, because you're an Aquarius rising, so the sun is the ruler of your 7th house. Right? This is correct, right? Okay, so what we're gonna do, let me see if I can turn this camera around. Can I? No, I can't. Sorry. Thought I could, but I can't. Jeez. Anyway. That's okay. I'm going to find a way, somebody very, 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 very intelligent lady told me that I should look for a whiteboard, and I'm going to look to that. It's a bit expensive, but I'm going to find a way to get one where we could look at this board here. As I'm speaking to you, you could be able to look and follow through on charts. Or what if you could look through, I think your chart is inside the group if somebody wants to look at it. We could do it as well. Your rule of your 7th house is this, the sun. Right? Correct? Correct. So give me some keywords that I give you guys, please, on the 7th house. What does the 7th house represent? What does the sign Libra represent? Give me both at the same time. I'd appreciate that. Throw out some keywords. Not everybody at the same time, but at least somebody. Keywords for the 7th house and the sign of Libra. It doesn't have to be anything in your 7th house. There's a sign on your 7th house, though. And that sign is ruled by a planet. Yes. Yes, Candy. Relationships, marriage, partnerships. There are a few more, but that's a very, very good start. Those are the big bulk of what it represents. So, believe it or not, I didn't say this, but the 7th house also deals with legal affairs. Yes, enemies as well. Or would you say the 7th house and the 12th house? So the 7th house deals with known enemies. This is why so often your marriage partner could turn into your enemy. Not business per se, no. It doesn't, not business itself, a rule. Business partnerships, probably, but not the business itself. Would you say, you said diplomacy? Yes. Diplomacy as well. It's ruled by the 7th house and the sign of Libra. Right. So, because your sun is sitting on the 7th house, your sun rules your 7th house. You said therapist. Well, like a relationship counselor or a relationship therapist could be. So yeah, that that can be connected to the seventh house. I want to go through with your chart so we can move on to somebody else. So your sun is sitting in the third house, and it rules your seventh house of partnerships. With somebody like myself would say, and it's conjunct your north node. Basically, it's telling me that your marriage partner sort of, there's a mixture between Juno and Sun. So a person like me would say, okay, the rule of your seventh house is sitting in your third, in the sign of Aries. It could possibly be so that your marriage partner can be somebody who is could be self-sustaining and somebody who lives in the neighborhood or somebody from around the way. However, I see Juno is sitting inside the sign of Sagittarius. So it could be somebody who you've probably known who has roots in a foreign country as a long-term commitment person. And that's what I would interpret for me, per se, looking at your chart. However, you have your Juno conjunct your Uranus, which means that you're very indifferent. You don't necessarily are focused on a partnership relationship per se. If it comes, it will come sudden. But your focus isn't mainly on that. Your chart is showing that from the planet Juno being the signifactor of your marriage partner or partnership. It also means, like we said, about when you think about like legal affairs, Uranus, I mean it's Sagittarius, but that's a different topic. We don't want to switch on. We don't want to switch on that. Your focus is coming here to do exactly what you came here to do. And your North Node is conjunct your Sun, which means that you're very focused on what your purpose is. So partnership, what we do is to look at and for a person that has aspects of certain planets like Saturn. If it's conjunct your Jupiter, then this person, I mean your Juno, this person could marry somebody older or wait till they're old enough or older to get married, or they may not even decide on getting married because Saturn is there. That's just how it goes. But according to your chart, it doesn't look like your main purpose. The next person is Shekinah, and then it's Felicia. So Shekinah, A, B, C. There you go. That's too close to me. So, Shekinah, tell me, what is on your seventh house? Without looking at your chart, most of you guys should know your chart back and forth. This is something that you should study as opposed to studying other people right now. Your main focus should be on self-observation. Yeah, just vertex is in your seventh house, but what sign is on your seventh house? Right. And vertex is not a planet. It is a point. And imagine the point based upon your ascendant and certain factors, all right? So that means that Juno is the signifactor of your seventh house or your partnership or marriages, right? Because Libra is on your seventh house. Can you remember where your Juno is? Right? And your Juno is sitting where? In what sign? And in what house? Okay, well, your Juno is in the sign of Aries, sitting in the first house. Your Juno is in Aries, sitting in the first house. Interpretations of that from an astrologer would be that your marriage partner, somebody that you be focused on, would be somebody who would be more dominant, a natural leader, somebody who can be aggressive, and all the things that are Aries like. Can you remember the things that are Aries like? Remember we went over this last class, so this should be easy. A rule should get this easy. A rule should know Aries traits like this. Oh, I was saying that just to recap for Ambi, on Shekinah's chart, Libra rules the 7th house. And Libra, according to modern astrology, which I'd like to teach you guys, is ruled by Juno, and her Juno is sitting in the sign of Aries. Yes, ambitious. Shekinah said hot-head. Felicia said driven leaders. Yes, this is definitely true. So I'd say that, as an astrologer, I take myself and say, yes, that, your partner would be, all these things are traits of your partner. So these keywords are what you use to say, you know what? So astrologer look at your chart and say, okay, especially a modern astrologer, the traditional astrologers look at Venus again as your relationship. I look at both, but more so focus on Juno because of my experiences of doing thousands and thousands of charts. It could be hit and miss with Venus. Juno was always on spot, always on point. I'd say personally that your marriage. What would any one of you guys say, except for me? I do this all the time, but right. Oh yeah, the Aries. So yeah. Yes, Aries get bored real fast. This is true. Let me give you an interpretation of my friend Demetria George and Douglas Block, but Demetria George the most. You sound like you dated an Aries, but a person that has Juno in Aries. Individual needs independence and freedom in relationships. Outbursts of temper and anger are the release mechanism for the frustrated need of autonomy. The suppression of identity needs can give rise to illness such as migraine headaches, a common housewife ailment. Attraction to a domineering and assertive individual is possible when one projects one power onto the partner. So as you can see, somebody who has these traits would be somebody who an astrologer would say that she kind of would be, connected to. Back to Arul. Juno, Juno is inside sign of Sagittarius, sitting in the 11th house. And whenever I see that, this could be somebody who meets somebody foreign, whether it be on the internet. This could be somebody. So you can meet somebody with, like I said, also, there's range. You could use Venus and Juno as ranges of different kinds of people to meet. This is why you don't meet just one kind of person. You meet your Venus person, you meet your Moon person as a male, and you meet your Juno person. But the Juno person is the one that can be the person that you can marry or be connected to. Right. So that tells you about who your marriage partner be. A natural leader, somebody ambitious, driven, high sex drive, get bored fast, can be, very aggressive, um, like Abby said, high sex drive. All these things, it could be your marriage partner based upon Juno. Okay. Now to tweak that, we'll be going to aspects, which we're not going to do that right now. I want to get the basic keywords for you guys. Aspects is a whole month. We did a little touch of it, but I didn't necessarily go into detail yet because that could be a doozy. Trust me. So with that, you could assess your own marriage partner, Chicano. We're gonna look at Felicia's one. All right. And Felicia as a Scorpio rising. Anyway, class, for those who know, what is the opposite sign of Scorpio? What is the opposite sign of Scorpio? What is the polarity of Scorpio? Felicia said Sagittarius. Sagittarius is next to Scorpio. But the opposite sign of Scorpio. I mean, I didn't expect for Felicia to get that on the like right there and then. Boom. Because she's just joining this class. You guys should know that. Taurus, exactly. So Taurus is the opposite. Well, no, see, Taurus is the opposite of Scorpio, Felicia. It is the opposite of Felicia. It's the polarity of Scorpio. And that's the sign that's sitting on your 7th house. Right, Candy. Taurus. So looking at your chart, Venus is a signifactor of your 7th house partner. So is Juno. Believe it or not. Yes. Oh, yes, yes. Sagittarius is opposite Gemini. You're correct. Yes. That is correct. So what I look at. So what are the traits? Because we did this before. Give me some keywords of the sign Taurus. We did this Tuesday, and we looked at Taurus and some keywords that are connected to Taurus. Manifest. Mm-hmm. That's one word. Affectionate, yes. Possessions, yes. Production, yes. Y'all are on the road. Money, possessions, yes. Candy, determined, yes. That assets, yes. You guys are getting pretty good at keywords. Materialism, yes. We'll use that. Comfortable doing things they enjoy, yes. Resistant to change, yes. That's good. That's a very good way about. That's a good way of saying it. Stubborn, hard head. Yes. So when we look at your per se marriage partner, your Venus, not spontaneous. Yeah, so they like stuff planned. You're right. That is a trait of Taurus. It's like, hold on, let me, yeah, stick in the. That could be, yeah. That's connected to Taurus. It could be a stick in the mud at times. But looking at your chart, Felicia, we'll see that Venus rules your 7th house. And Venus is sitting in the sign of Libra, in the 12th house. Your Venus, your signa factor, is sitting in the 12th house of spirituality, hidden things, prisons, asylums, and hospitals, unconditional love and universal consciousness, hidden enemies is also connected to the 12th house. So when you think about that, partnerships for you can, if it's not in a sense spiritual, then we could use the higher octave or the lower octave. You can do one thing, 2 things actually, 3 more, 4 things. You can get lost in your relationships. You could become, what's the word I want to use? Enthralled, hypnotized. I don't like using that word. You could be mesmerized by your partnerships. Also, the negative side of it is your partnerships need, or the positive side about it is you have a spiritual connection with your mate. You need and desire a spiritual connection with your mate. However, yeah, so taking a look at that, give me some other, so whenever Venus is sitting inside the 12th house, it could normally lead to clandestine relationships. It could lead to savior, or, what do you call it? Damsel in distress, and, sucker for sad story relationships. Person who always has to, my mommy say, save a hoe. You get the save a hoe type of connection if it is used in its wrong and in its lower octave. In its higher octave, you could seek out a relationship that is spiritually connected in a sense of unconditional love, or loving a person unconditionally. This is a way of expressing that. Your Juno, which is a natural significant factor of your marriage partner, is sitting in the sign of Aries in the 6th house. Juno represents partnerships, marriages, business partners, these sort of things. And because your Juno is inside the sign of Aries, you could also draw to yourself the same kind of partnerships that Shekinah draws to. But because it's sitting in the 6th house, this could be people in the field of either health or people who you work with, people who you connect to in a sense, or somebody who you exercise with, because the 6th house deals with that as well. So all of these avenues and variation can actually lead to the kind of people you could meet and become long-term partnerships with. I'm looking to take a look at your aspects, and I don't see any conjunction with it. So, but your marriage partner, if seeked out, would have to be somebody that you're spiritually connected to, or somebody who you gotta save. Does it make sense what I'm saying? See that they're sitting in the 12th house. See say, okay, oh God. Okay. Be your next. This is the only one that I'm actually going to do the relatedness to, okay? Because we got to go through all of them. I want you to get all of the keywords. But I know how you guys are at partnerships and need to know why, how, when, where. Okay. Ambi, your rising sign is Leo. So it means the polarity of that is Aquarius. Yours is not sitting in the sign of Cancer. No, it's not. Your Juno is sitting in the sign of Gemini. It's actually conjunct your Venus. Yes. However, let's look at the ruler of your 7th house. If your 7th house has has Aquarius, I just gave that, so has Uranus sitting on the 7th house, what is the ruler? What planet rules the sign of Aquarius? If your sign class, if Ambi's 7th house is ruled by Aquarius, has Aquarius on it, what planet rules the sign of Aquarius? Uranus. Yes. Yes, Felicia, Uranus, that is correct. So what I would do as an astrologer is look to see where Uranus is sitting. I look at the aspects, see the sign it's in and the house that it's in. What I see is you have Uranus sitting in the 5th house of Sagittarius. But it's conjunct Saturn. Exactly conjunct Saturn. What I would say, based on what I know too as well, most people who have Aquarius sitting on the 7th house normally get married very suddenly. I know because I have Aquarius sitting on the 7th house. So they get married not as, it isn't planned, it's mostly spontaneous. And because your Saturn is conjunct Uranus, it normally prolongs you being married. Also, Saturn is a restrictor, which means that your relationship or your marriage could be heavy based upon Saturn being exactly conjuncted. This could mean that you could be in a long-term commitment for a long time as well. It may be unorthodox. It may be different. However, it has the traits of Saturn being conjuncted. And sitting in the 5th house, you would need a partner that is fun, romantic, creative, expressive, sexual. All these things are connected. Also, you need somebody who is a teacher. You need to be able to learn from. Jesus, you need somebody who's authoritative, a little bit more older than yourself, and a little bit more authoritative, seeing the fact that it's sitting in this conjunct Saturn. However, let's look at your Juno. And your Juno is conjunct your Venus in the sign of Gemini in the 11th house, which means that you could have met your marriage partner as well on a social outing or someplace that people gather together in masses. This could also be social networking. You can meet your marriage partner on a social network, like um, YouTube. It could be Facebook. It could be Instagram. All these things are connected to the 11th house. And talking and communication is represented by Gemini. So I would literally say that that's another avenue of meeting your partner or marriage partner. Does it make sense what I'm saying? All right. And you have Juno in the sign of Gemini. Let me read what it says, this book called The Asteroid Goddess. Juno in Gemini indicates the need to have verbal stimulation and exchange in the relationship, which means that you like to talk. The capacity to discuss day-to-day plans and having a variety of activities in which to participate together are essential ingredients. A lack of daily communication can lead to nervous tension in your relationship and within yourself. Inner mental agitation or imagined dialogues or continual verbal monologues, which means that if you don't really talk with your partner, you would start to imagine things happening and your mind just goes and imagining the worst. This book also says there can exist the desire for more than one mate and an ability to handle multiple relationships at the same time. Did you get that just now? All right. So that would describe, of me personally, being in the 11th house, I could see you connecting with somebody from the social media, a gathering, someplace you'd be talking. It could be a neighborhood bar, grill. It could be anything that's neighborhood as well, because Gemini rules like the neighborhood. Yeah, so that is what I see. And you're married, right? Where did you meet your husband? Just for clarification for people who are inside this chat. Where did you meet your husband? Oh, you met him at a nightclub. That is so Gemini in the 11th house, the Lehman Bunny. You met him at a nightclub. Would you also say that those things that this book says about you needing to talk with your partner every day and planning daily stuff, on a scale from 0 to 100%, how would you say accurate is that? %? What 10% is inaccurate? Well, 90% is still a good accuracy, I'd say. So now you guys see how... No. Nobody's a typical Gemini unless they have Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Gemini Venus, Gemini Mars, Gemini. Like, if you got all the planets in Gemini, then that's probably, I'd say, 100% Gemini. Nobody's 100% their sun sign. Okay. Okay. Let's take a look at Gemini and the houses. What this book says about Gemini of Juno being in the 11th house. Y'all don't hear that. Anyway, we're on to Gandhi now. And Gandhi, your Juno, your 7th house. So you're a Libra rising. The sign on your 7th house is the polarity, which is the opposite sign. And that sign is Aries. The opposite sign of Libra is Aries. And what planet rules Aries? Mars. I'm going to answer it for you. Mars. And where is your Mars? Your Mars is in the sign of Pisces in the 6th house. It's in the sign of Pisces in the 6th house. However, your Juno, which can also represent your marriage partner, is in the sign of Aquarius sitting in the 5th house. It is conjunct Eros and conjunct your Sun. Conjunct meaning close in proximity, between 0 and 8 degrees. So as the ruler of your 7th house being Mars, and Mars in the 6th house, in the sign of Pisces, a person like myself would say your marriage partner would be somebody who is, you could either see, have a spiritual connection with, also somebody who you could be, like most of your partners or long-term relationship as people who either seem to be somebody who you have to rescue or somebody that has to rescue you. In the 6th house, it shows that you could be very, very, your marriage partner could be somebody who's in the health field or health service, somebody who helps in a certain way, or in the service industry. Somebody who is in the exercising, or because the 6th house also, like I told you, deal with that as well. But somebody's very social because your Venus conjunct your Mars. Looking at your Juno, which represent or signify of a marriage partner, the person itself is sitting in the sign of Aries, Aquarius, and you have your Juno conjunct your Eros, which means that you are passionate about having a partner. Your Juno is conjunct your Sun, which means that there is an essence of needing to blend with your partner. So let me give you an insight of how Juno would, how our friend Demetria describes Juno in the sign of Aquarius. In the sign of Aquarius, Juno person requires the freedom to be an individual and have a life apart from the relationship. These individuals need to have the opportunity to experiment with new relationship forms such as open marriages or role reversals. When Juno in Aquarius partners are denied their freedom, they may engage in non-committal, unreliable, or erratic behavior. Now, that's Juno in the sign of Aquarius, but however, you have it conjunct your Eros, which means that you're passionate about finding your partner. You're passionate and it feels like this person and you should become one and the same. So even though, and the thing about it is, because your chart is saying that you're passionate about it, the energies of it being in the sign of Aquarius will still show itself. You would still find yourself in a relationship with somebody, or you may deny yourself. That person may deny you the freedom, and you may start to um, engage in non-committal relationships afterwards. I think I know somebody about this placement. Sorry, guys. CJ's pretty quiet. Anyway, so your Juno is sitting inside the fifth house of fun and romance. This is what it says about you. Juno in the fifth house indicates that the relationship can be used to inspire and support one's personal creativity. Children often contribute to the sense of creative fulfillment. Thus, the major focus of the partnership can often center around parenting or becoming parents together. The most important relationship interactions will occur with one's children, lovers, or creative endeavors. I hope you're there, because that's a serious thing. Since you don't have any questions, we're going to go into the other houses and the other signs. Since we already did our relatedness section of the class, we're going to focus on the planet Pluto, which rules the seventh house and also the sign Scorpio. And if any of you guys would like to, oh, you are, okay. All right. You have any questions on what I just said? Well, yeah, I'm on 8th house. Yeah, it rules the 8th house. Pluto rules the 8th house naturally, but if you don't have Scorpio on your 8th house, you won't. The sign that's on the 8th house would rule that. That will be the landlord. Okay? Oh, okay. All right. So, let's take a look at Pluto. Some of the keywords of Pluto, believe it or not, can be very, very heavy. Give me some keywords that deal with Pluto and the sign Scorpio. Intimacy. Okay, nice. Death. Yes. Death. Mm-hmm. Transform. That is a good one. Partner's money. Yes. Regeneration. Also, yes. Inheritance. Yes. Abuse of power. That I don't know if that's a key word. You're using a phrase. Power struggle. Okay. I'm glad you guys are using both negative and positive words. That's pretty good. I'm going to give you some negative words as well. Abuse. Pluto. So, some negative words. I want you to get these as well. Yeah, somebody said power. Dreamers. I'll give that a 60%. Some negative words that are connected to Scorpio are stubbornness. Why? Because it's a fixed sign. So the 4 signs are very stubborn, that are fixed signs. There's 4 signs that are fixed signs. We're going to get into that. Are Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Leo. Those 4 signs hold those keywords of stubborn. Okay? Passionate, possessive, aggressive. I'm giving you the negative words. Compulsive, dominating or domineering, whatever one you decide on using. Hot-tempered, obsessive, resentful, revengeful, cunning, jealous, moody, brooding. Some of the words you guys gave was abusive, power struggle. All these words are connected to the sign Scorpio and the planet Pluto. I want to give you some positive words. Intense. Yes, another word is secretive. Very, very secretive. What else? Give me some more. Intuitive. Charismatic. Purposeful. Untruthful. That's a heavy word. That's a negative word of Scorpios. Continue. Manipulative. Intolerant. Thin-skinned. Thinking about these words y'all using. Give me some more. Another set of words that are connected to it are like occult, eternity, creation, taboo, magic. That's a good phrase. Overprotective. Darkness. Medicine. Empathy. Magic. All of these things are connected to the sign Scorpio and the planet Pluto. Angry. No, I don't know if angry is a word to use for Scorpios. Because anybody can, every sign could get angry. Trust me or not. Actually, Scorpios have a better way of expressing that because they could be angry and you don't know. They be brooding and they will the energy of Scorpio, they have a lot of energy of Scorpio in them. They could focus on becoming very quiet and calm whilst they plot your demise. Feminine. I wouldn't use the word feminine, I would use the word androgynous. Androgynous. When you take a look at females who have a lot of placements of Scorpio, they may come off to you more male, more masculine. And when you take a look at men who have a lot of Scorpio placements, they may come off to you as being feminine. That's because they're androgynous. You really, really can't tell if they're heterosexual or not. Like with my couple of planets that I have in Scorpio, I've been asked, You gay? I mean, seriously, you like man? I just want to know if you like man, cause like you don't talk like the ghetto person, and you don't act the ghetto person. Oh, yeah, I had a feeling you're talking about the men. You gotta give me some other words that are connected to Pluto and Scorpio. He didn't say sex. Did somebody say sex? Did somebody say infatuation? Did you say anything to do with the orgasm? Penetrations? Purging? Did you say regeneration? All of these words are connected to it. Pluto, especially Pluto, the planet Pluto. Dictatorship is another word. Atomic energy, ready to explode, is connected to the planet Pluto. So atomic energy would be like concentrated energy. All right. A few words that are also connected to Scorpio is ruthlessness, force, psychoanalysis. All of these words are connected to, or surgery as well, or cutting deep, digging, mining. All of these words are connected to the sign of Scorpio. All right, you guys got that? Connected to the eighth house also is stuff like, say I'm all house. Connected to the eighth house is other people's money, your partner's money, taxes, banks, insurance are connected to the eighth house. Just remember those, like your bills, your taxes, banks, your partner's money, other people's money, insurance are connected to the eighth house. Let's move on to the ninth house. And that is naturally ruled by the sign Sagittarius. So we'll say Sagittarius, ninth house. And Sagittarius is ruled by the planet Jupiter. And somebody give me some keywords of the sign Sagittarius. I'm sure a lot of you would like to give some of your keywords that you've found from dating a Sagittarius person. Spirituality, good keyword. Free-spirited, blunt. Truthful. Yep. Exploration. Yeah, I like that. I like that word, exploration. Who said wisdom or honest? Delusion. Who are you talking to? I mean, when you say, oh, controlling. Sagittarius? Controlling. You better look in that chart of that person to see if they got some Scorpio or not. Jupiter's are more free spirit than anything. So see, some keywords that are connected to we'll go with the planet first. Jupiter is abundance. Say spoiled by the mother. Oh, where you get it from? This sound like some experiences y'all just spitting out at me. So Jupiter is connected to abundance, foreign affairs, religion, fulfillment, speculation, athletics, luck, benevolence, generosity, opportunity, gluttony, Optimism, yes. Happiness. That's a good, yes. Growth, devotion, good fortune, which is also luck. Teacher, yes. Expansion, philanthropy, success, generosity, higher education. Let me get some other words like travel, faith. Yes, exactly, Ambi. Travel, faith. Judgment, profit, law, vision. All of these things are connected to the planet Jupiter and also the sign Sagittarius. Seekers of wisdom, yes. Higher education, yes. All of these are energies of Sagittarius. So let's take a look at the keywords of, you want the negative traits. Negative traits, okay. Let's try some words like hotheads. Out, blunt could be a negative word too, Argumentative, meaning they can like to debate. There can be a sense of overconfidence. They could over-exaggerate. Extravagant, yes. I don't know about the untruthful, being blunt. I highly doubt that. They could be very careless, forgetful. They could also be aloof, restless, impatient, lazy at times, yes. They could be impulsive and dogmatic. They can also have a holier than thou trait. Those are mostly the keywords that I know that are negative. Wishy-washy. You sound like, you know what? That's a keyword of being a mutable sign. High strung, wishy-washy. Sometimes being optimistic makes them blind. Yeah. Or seeing the bigger picture and not focusing on the small details can cause that. There are some other negative words that we could focus on. And some of the negative traits could be very talkative, procrastinating, self-indulgent. You say they should be called the tricksters? They are the tricksters, and so are the sign Gemini, Sagittarius, and Gemini. See, in a way that Jupiter or Sagittarius uses higher wisdom to get what they want or what have you, they're still truthful with it. A Gemini or Gemini traits can be a bit different. A few positive words can be straightforward, freedom-loving, adventurous, enthusiastic, sociable, and charming. Broad-minded, or seeing the bigger picture. Those are keywords. Remember these keywords, because when I hit y'all with this, y'all can know. Before the class ends, let me give you guys homework first. All right. What you gonna do? Before we go on to the 10th house. Let me give you your assignments. So your assignments is from pages is page 55, 57, 59, 61, 63, 65, 65, 67, 71, 73, and 75. That's a whole lot to do on the weekend. You have a lot to do on the weekend. That is from, so you know, so I can give you, so you can understand where I'm coming from. Once you understand where I'm coming from first. It's pages 53 to 76 to read over. Yeah, so yeah, from 53 to 76 is the homework. We're gonna do the 10th house, which is naturally ruled by Saturn, and the sign that's naturally on it is Capricorn. All right, Capricorn. And let's look at some positive words first, because you know, if you mind me, I'll give you all the negative traits of Capricorn. Sorry if anybody who's Capricorn inside, I'm sorry. Oh, I got you. What I'll do is I'll send you, I'll definitely make sure that you get those pictures. I'll take pictures and send them to you, okay? Give me some keywords that are connected to the planet Saturn. I need some keywords that are connected to the planet Saturn. Career. Okay, good. Restriction. Boom. You know that's the keyword that is used all the time. Order. Yes. How the world sees them. That's Capricorn. That's the sign of Capricorn. Yeah. Oh, what you really want to say is ego. Limitation. Yes, that's another good word. Freedom. I don't know about freedom. No. Saturn wants to control. Freedom is not a word connected with Capricorn. Let me give you some. Coldness. Habits. Self-control. Grounded. That's a nice word. You could use that. Failures. Losses. Weightiness. Thorough. Frustration. Delays. Chronic ailments. Poverty. Frigidry. Materialism. Yeah, them, Virgo, and Capricorn, anything in a sign, in Earth sign can be materialistic, in a sense. Fears. Let me think about some others. Depression. Restriction, like you guys said. Father. Authority. Business. Effort. Wisdom. Diligence. Cold. Yes. Time or father time. Because remember now, being delayed means taking time. limits, like we said earlier, endurance. Anything, see, let me give you a little tidbit. So when you're looking at a chart and you see Venus conjunct Saturn, and you say to yourself, "What a sec, I got Venus conjunct Saturn." That means that I ain't got no relationship. That doesn't mean it could be restricted. But also, it means that you appreciate long-term, dedicated commitments, enduring commitments. So you're one that don't really. It may be hard, but you're not letting go. In synastry, one of the things to look at in long-term relationships is an aspect between Venus of one person and Saturn in the next person. Venus in one person and Saturn in the next person is said to be not only karmic, but also enduring. Capricorn and Saturn affectionate? No. I don't know what side you're reading that on, but that is not applicable to the planet Saturn. Can be cold and affectionate at the same time. Oh, it's just your experience, maybe. Like I said, your experience is based upon their sun sign and not the whole of who they are. A few words also connected to it are like discipline, elderly, patience, boundaries, isolation, organized, like how you guys said, control, seriousness. Another thing that I want to point out, again, pride, or I should say ego, is in traditional astrology, Saturn can dictate or tell you exactly death as well. Just letting you know. It's also an indicator along with Pluto. All right. So all those keywords are connected to Capricorn, the 10th house, and Saturn. Moving on to the 11th house, I am determined to finish this. 11th house. The sign that naturally rules 11th house is Aquarius. And also the planet Uranus. In traditional astrology, Saturn rules Aquarius. And after coming of age and understanding astrology, I realized that it is not really applicable in this. In Vedic astrology, probably, but not in Western astrology. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Give me some keywords to Aquarius. Boom. All right, go Dale. What's going on? Independent, rebel, change. All these words. Yes, yes. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. You ever realize that? Yeah, originality. Yeah. You ever realize how friendly an Aquarius can appear to be, but still necessarily don't let you get close to them? See the word right there. Dale just said it, detached. Yeah, so Aquarius can give off the impression that they are so friendly and they're so warm, but hey, yeah, I smile with you. Yeah, I laugh with you. Yeah, I tell some jokes. But don't follow me to my God. I don't, no. So those are traits of Aquarius. They could be a loyal friend. They could be very idealistic, dependable, humanitarian, creative, original, intuitive, especially intuitive, tolerant to a point, intellectual, and you guys said independent, generous, and strong-willed. Those are some keywords. Now, remember when I told you earlier that Aquarius is also a fixed sign, so it can also be very stubborn. In the mix of it mind, that's it. I gave you the positive words. You could also get some negative words, which are detached, aloof, tactless, cranky, difficult, eccentric, observant. Yeah, they could be observant. Dogmatic. They can also be insensitive at times. Unyielding, especially in the negative trait. Unemotional, unreasonable, and unpredictable. Give me some other words that are connected to Aquarius that you know, that you may think that should be on there, that you've experienced from Aquarius nature. Or I'd say, please, let me use y'all people, sun sign. Go ahead. Controlling. Untruthful. Brash. This is your experience. Ooh. Yeah. That may not necessarily be any Aquarius traits. Right. You see what I'm saying there? Maybe he's their Mercury or their Mars, but I don't know about that. That sounds yeah, because that's true. I did actual experiences of the sun sign. Yeah. Yeah, no. Meaning, well, the sun sign, no. The sign Aquarius is no. Maybe this person has some traits, other planets, and will connect to that. Let me give you some other examples of connected to Uranus 11th house or Aquarius. We talked about it. Social networking. Your social outings. Say. Yeah, so your hopes and wishes are also connected to the 11th house. Your humanitarian efforts, your friends. When I say your friends, it's like your groups of the groups that you're connected with. Uranus can be connected to the words like genius, unusual, thrill seeker, novelist or novelty. I would say novelty, breakthrough, innovation, inventions, the internet. Yeah, waves, and not just sea waves, like radio waves, cable waves, whatever waves it is can be connected. Astrology, also Uranus, aviation, Uranus. Remember we talk about this all the time. Shock, unexpected, science, suddenness. All these things are words that are connected to the planet Uranus as well. Give me a sec. You guys have any more words? Organizations. Yeah, of course. Organizations. It's a good one. What kind of organizations? Right. So those are keywords for the 11th house, Aquarius, and the sign and the planet Uranus. You see how they're interrelated. Cults, I wouldn't necessarily say that. Maybe if you have Uranus. Red Cross, yeah, that's a good 11th house thing. Humanitarian networks, yes. Feed the children, those are connected to 11th house. You are right. Ami said cults. You know, but those are related to certain things, like Uranus in Scorpio. Think about that. Yeah. I took your typing. Yeah, so those things could be connected. Okay? Let's move on from that to the last. Wait. Yes, Uranus and Scorpio, so those could be connected to cult. For sure. When you think about that, that means Capricorn rising. Anyway, moving on to the last house, which is on the last sign and the last planet, which is Neptune. And Neptune rules the sign of Pisces. And Pisces naturally rules the 11th house. I mean the 12th house, sorry. So let's take a look at some keywords. Let's take a look at some keywords of the sign of Pisces. Give me some keywords, guys. Elusive, says the Pisces rising. Romantic. Dreamy. Yes. Emotional. Yes. Come on. I want negative and positive. There are some really, really cool words associated with Pisces as opposed to the negative ones, which people tend to focus on more. Like astrologers normally tend to focus on the negative sides of Pisces. But I can tell you this: they are gentle, wise, friendly, helpful, creative. They're sensitive, like how you said, artistic, adaptable. Yes. Why? Why are they adaptable? It's because they're a mutable sign. The sign of Pisces, generous, perceptive, intuitive, that on 100%. Easygoing, kind and caring, compassionate. We're using the same words. Now, hit me with the negative ones. Because when you be delineating people's charts, don't just focus on the positive, don't focus on the negative. Try to give a balance of all. Keywords: over emotional, sentimental, or over sentimentality, overly sensitive, gullible, impressionable, like how Dale says, elusive. Did you say evasive or elusive? One of them. Addictive, wishy-washy. It's another word they use. Secretive, escapist. Yeah, addictive is definitely a word connected with Pisces. Deception. Yeah, that could be connected to that. We could go with that word. See, the imagination. Daydreaming, enchantment, inspiration, transcendence, prisons, asylums, hospitals. All of these words are connected to that planet. Okay? And also the 11th house. I mean the 12th house. I gave you guys your homework. Like I said before, it's from 53 54 to 76. I expect that right before class, not right before, I need that on Monday, the day before, because you guys are being ridiculous now. I need that the day before class. That concludes keywords. In order for you to, we're gonna have a review in the next, it's 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now. Keywords are important. Remember that. And do your own, build your keywords as you're studying and looking at other people's chart. Build on your keywords. Build on your keywords. Build on your keywords. I can't say no more directly. Any questions you have, you can ask inside the group chat. Let's talk. Let's conversate. The reason why I don't really talking now, because you guys are not asking the questions. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bombard you, mother suckers. Anyway,